Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. Iran attacks Israel. Iran launched hundreds of missiles and drones at Israel overnight last week. This came amid tension between the two countries as Israel accused Iran of engaging in proxy war in its conflict against Hamas. Iranian media said the attack was in retaliation to Israel's recent strike at Iranian embassy in Syria that killed Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps member, including senior commanders. European Union leaders have agreed to impose new sanctions on Iran after its attack on Israel by drones and missiles. The decision came as European Union leaders gathered for 2 days summit in Brussels. The Israeli military, meanwhile, had conducted missile strikes against Iran on 18th of April 2024. There are also reports of explosion in Iraq and Syria. The strikes appear to be the response Israel vowed to carry out after an Iranian attack on the intervening night of 13th and 14th. Defense Ministry issues a tender for 97 Tejas Mark I Alpha aircraft jets. The Indian Defense Ministry has issued a tender for 97 Tejas Mk-1A fighter jets, aiming to strengthen the Indian Air Force IAF fighter fleet and boost the indigenous aerospace industry. The Tejas Mark I Alpha is an indigenously designed, developed and manufactured modern 4+ generation fighter aircraft with advanced features such as AESA radar, beyond visual range missiles, early warning system and AAR capabilities. Second batch of Indian military troops left Maldives. Maldivian President Mohammad Muizzu has said that the second batch of Indian military personnel who were manning a helicopter gifted by India has left the island nation. He added that the remaining personnel on the last aviation platform will also leave before May 10th deadline. Notably, Maldives signed a military assistance deal with China earlier this month. What is the term shift shock? Shift shock refers to the disorientation stress or regret employees may experience when undergoing significant changes in their work environment, such as a new job, a new role, a team, or organizational structure. It was one of the top 10 workplace trends in 2023. Over 70% of employees report experiencing shift shock at some point in their career, said a Muse survey. India and Mauritius closed another lacuna in their Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement (DTAA), tightening the scrutiny on tax avoidance on investments coming into India. The new protocol on DTAA was signed on the 7th of March this year. The latest amendment includes a Principal Purpose Test (PPT) to decide whether a foreign investor is actually eligible for treaty benefits or was the tax benefit the primary reason to route investments via Mauritius. DTAA is a bilateral agreement aimed at preventing double taxation of income earned in one country by residents of the other country, that is, India and Mauritius in this case. The 16th meeting of India-France Joint Working Group on Counter-Terrorism was held in New Delhi on 15th of April. During the meeting, the two sides assigned counter-terrorism challenges, including the use of new and emerging technologies by terrorists, misuse of internet for terrorist purposes, radicalization of terror financing. The Indian delegation was led by Joint Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs KD Dewal, and French delegation by Ambassador Olivier Caron, Special Envoy for Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime. During the meeting, the Indian side presented its viewpoint on No Money for Terror (NMFT), and Financial Action Task Force, which led to an exchange of respective positions by the two sides. The two sides also emphasized the importance of strengthening counter-terrorism cooperation through exchange of information, capacity building, training programs, and exercises and cooperation at the multilateral fora. What is the digital nomad visa launched by Italy? Italy has recently launched a digital nomad visa which allows remote workers from non European countries to live and work in Italy for 1 year. To be eligible, applicants must have at least 28,000 euros annual income, health insurance, minimum 6 months of remote work experience, proof of accommodation in Italy, and evidence of no criminal records in last 5 years. What is population collapse that Greece is facing amid unexpected deaths? Population decline in Greece has reached alarming levels, and Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis called the prospect of population collapse a ticking time bomb as per the reports. Population collapse, also known as depopulation, refers to the phenomena of sudden and irreversible decline in the number of living people in a society. Greece's birth rate fell by 30% from 2011 to 2021. ISRO develops lightweight carbon-carbon nozzle for rocket engines. Indian Space Research Organization ISRO has developed a lightweight carbon-carbon nozzle for rocket engines, which will enhance thrust levels, specific impulse and thrust to weight ratios, thereby boosting rocket's payload capability. The carbon-carbon nozzle has low density, high specific strength, excellent stiffness, and can retain mechanical properties at high temperatures. The nozzle might increase PSLV's payload capabilities by 15 kgs. What is Project Nimbus that Google employees are protesting? Google employees are protesting Project Nimbus, a $1.2 billion Israeli contract jointly held with Amazon. First announced in 2021, it provides cloud computing, AI-enabled facial detection, automated image categorization, and object tracking service to the Israeli government and military. Protesting Google employees argue that it will allow for further surveillance of Palestinians to harm them. The Government of India has notified amended rules under the Foreign Exchange Management Act to operationalize its decision to allow up to 100% FDI for the space sector for manufacturing and operation of satellites, data products, and ground segments and user segments, out of which up to 74% will be through the automatic route, and government approval will be required for the investment beyond 74%. The new rules have come into effect from 16th of this month. Boston Dynamics unveils fully electric humanoid robot called Atlas. Boston Dynamics, once owned by Google parent Alphabet, has fully electric Atlas humanoid robot designed for real-world applications. A video showed Atlas lying on its back, then switching positions with leg rotation and its head and torso spinning 180 degrees as it fully stood up. Boston Dynamics will conduct experiments with Hyundai on-site to test Atlas beginning next year. Kuwait's Emir has appointed Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah Al Ahmed Al Sabah as a new Prime Minister of Kuwait. This decision follows the resignation of former Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed Sabah Al Salim Al Sabah on April 7th. Sheikh Mohammed submitted his cabinet's resignation on April 6th following the elections of a new parliament on April 4th. His resignation was a procedural move after a new parliament was elected. The new Prime Minister Sheikh Ahmed is a Kuwaiti economist and has served as Minister for Finance and Communications from 1999 to 2005. before serving as Minister of Health, Minister of Oil, and Minister of Information from 2006 to 2011. Norwegian shipyard to build world's largest hydrogen ships. Torghatten Nord has chosen the Norwegian Michaelbust shipyard to build the world's largest hydrogen power ships, which will carry up to 120 cars on Norway's longest ferry route between Bodø and Lofoten. The ferries will be the world's largest hydrogen ships and will be bunkered with the hydrogen produced in Bodø. Marking a key military export milestone, India delivered the first batch of BrahMos missiles to Philippines on Friday, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi noting the development and congratulating the nation. India delivered BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles to Philippines under a $375 million deal signed in 2022. The Indian Air Force utilized C-17 Globemaster transport aircraft to deliver the missiles to Philippines. Marine Corps. Ground systems for BrahMos missiles were already exported last month. Vice Admiral Dinesh Tripathi has been appointed as the next Chief of Naval Staff. Vice Admiral Dinesh Tripathi has been appointed as the next Chief of Naval Staff, succeeding Admiral R. Harikumar, who will retire from service on April 30. Tripathi is an accomplished naval officer with a distinguished career spanning nearly 39 years. He has served on frontline warships as a signal communication officer and an electronic warfare officer. Defense Research and Development Organization successfully conducted MP-ATGM weapon system trials. Man-portable anti-tank guided missiles, also called as MP-ATGM weapon systems, indigenously designed and developed by Defense Research and Development Organization. This system consists of MP-ATGM, launcher, target acquisition system, and the fire control unit. The warhead flight trials were successfully conducted at Pokhran Field Firing Ranges, Rajasthan on April 13, 2024. Who is Pragya Mishra, ChatGPT maker, OpenAI's first employee in India? ChatGPT maker OpenAI has recruited Pragya Mishra to lead public policy affairs. The 39-year-old previously held public affairs at Truecaller and has worked at Meta, Royal Danish Embassy, and EY. A Delhi University graduate, she holds a diploma in bargaining and negotiations from London School of Economics and Political Sciences and an MBA degree from IMI New Delhi. And now for the segment where we see the events that unfolded itself this week back in history. 14th April 1865, Abraham Lincoln shot. On this day in 1865, just after the effective end of the American Civil War, US President Abraham Lincoln was shot dead by John Wilkes Booth while attending a production at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. and died the next day morning. 15th April 1912, sinking of the Titanic. On this day in 1912, the British luxury passenger liner Titanic sank en route to New York City from Southampton, Hampshire, England, after striking an iceberg during its maiden voyage. Some 1,500 people died. 16th April 1912, Harriet Quimby flight across the English Channel. On this day in 1912, American aviator Harriet Quimby became the first woman to fly across the English Channel, guiding her French Bellroy monoplane through a heavy overcast over Dover, England to Harelot, France. April 1982, Canada Act proclaimed. The Canada Act, also known as the Constitution Act, took effect on this day in 1982. establishing certain individual rights, preserving parliamentary supremacy, and making Canada a wholly independent and fully sovereign state. 18th April 1775, the midnight ride of Paul Revere. Paul Revere, a renowned silversmith, is better remembered as the folk hero of American Revolution who, this night in 1775, made a dramatic ride on a horseback to warn Boston area residents of an imminent attack by British troops. 19th April 1775, American Revolution began. Launched this day in 1775 with the Battle of Lexington and Concord, the American Revolution was an effort by 13 British colonies in North America, with the help from France, Spain, and Netherlands to win their independence. 20 April 2010, explosion on the Deepwater Horizon oil rig. On this day in 2010, an explosion occurred on the Deepwater Horizon oil rig located in Gulf of Mexico, some 41 miles away from the coast of Louisiana, leading to the largest oil spill in the history.
Well, that's all friends for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.